Casually explain first date mistakes.
No way. Now, I'm no expert on dating, which is why you can trust I know what I'm talking about. So whenever it comes to first dates, the obvious question is, how do I get one? And I'm no pickup artist, I say, hoping you would have thought otherwise.
I have to pee, I'll
but
be
there's
back.
no magic words you can use to convince someone to go on a date with you. And if there was, the closest we have is writing, "You have beautiful eyes," in the Pornhub comment section. In reality, getting a date in this day and age is pretty straightforward. Convey that you're an attractive enough person in both looks and personality, and then wait for your step-parents to go on a cruise. Now, the obvious way most people nowadays are getting first dates is dating apps like Tinder and Bumble, and in my experience, a lot of people feel like they aren't getting what they want. Guys say things like, "Oh, I never get any matches, it's a waste of time unless you're like a male model." And then their profile is a blurry photo of them in cargo shorts holding a foot-long Chinook salmon. Now, I hate to break it to you, but if you expect to match with a Victoria's Secret model, you're going to have to get up to at least a 3-foot halibut. Similarly, a lot of attractive women say things like, "There's just no good guys on here. It's like, why do I even try?" And then their bio is like, "Sophie, 25, love to meet new friends and have fun, winky face." And as a guy, when you see someone put like no effort into their bio, you just think, yeah, still pretty hot. So now that we flash forward in time and you've got a date, we can start getting to the real issues. Now, there are a lot of questions I found on Reddit from people who've never gone on a date before, and so I wanted to get those out of the way really quickly before we move on. Where should I go for a first date? Somewhere you'd enjoy going by yourself anyway. So yeah, drinks. Where should I go if I'm not 21? I don't know, church? Who should pay on a date? This depends on if you made a YouTube video that month or not. So yeah, usually her. Is it bad to have sex on the first date? Well, I'm afraid it's 2021, so the question isn't whether you had sex, it's whether you held hands. Should you tell her your sexual fetishes on the first date? No. That's why we have Twitch. Okay, so let's get down to the biggest first date mistake.
Oh, all right, dude. Dude. What? We are the butt of every joke now, boys. We are now officially just the butt of every fucking joke on the internet. So much so that like every fucking dweeb that is like literally a YouTuber. Like, you're a YouTuber, dude. And they're right, too. Like, they can make fun of us, and they're right. Kind of sad to think about. We are such L nerds, dude.
Mistakes. Making the fact that you're on a date ambiguous. One of the most common feels bad man scenarios is going on a date with someone to somewhere fairly platonic, like a cafe, and halfway through your coffee they start talking about their boyfriend, and you're like, "Oh no, hey, I don't know what you thought this was, and I probably didn't communicate this properly, but like, I'm down to experiment, dude." Leading with money. A lot of guys think that girls like men with a lot of money. This is false. Girls like cool men with a lot of money. So, unfortunately, she's not going to be impressed that you bought GameStop and AMC at the top, even though you're sure it's going to squeeze any time now. Slow texting. A lot of new daters feel they have to artificially stagger their texting to seem busy or unavailable. This is stupid because you are available. Instead, you should artificially stagger your texting because you're overthinking every word of your response. Bragging. Bragging is probably one of the worst things you can do on a date because you convey to the other person that you're insecure about your social value unless you leverage your one unrelated source of measurable significance. Worrying about what to say. Most people get really nervous on dates, filter themselves too much, and awkwardly run out of things to say. The common advice that you'll find is that it's not what you say that matters, it's how you say it, which is most...
Everybody loves talking about themselves all the time. You just have to figure out exactly how to unlock things that the other person will say in a way that is not like too inquisitive, where you're like prodding and being fucking weird. And that's it. I hate talking about myself. Well, I mean, you will... No shot. It's the most human thing to just like... Yeah, don't interview them, but it's the most human thing to just... If you can't fucking figure out what to say, that's sick
this Friday.
and super cool and carry on a conversation. You can always win by just, figuring out the best way to get the other person to talk about themselves. You're wrong. A lot of people hate it. No, you're missing. Okay, let me rephrase it. I don't mean talk about themselves as like, what are your interests and hobbies? I mean, like, get them to talk about their daily experiences or whatever their fucking hobbies are, okay? There is something that everybody loves talking about, okay? No matter how insecure you are about yourself, you're always going to have an issue that you won't shut the fuck up about, okay? And I know this because you're literally in Twitch chat, okay? There is always something that you love talking about with your friends or whatever the fuck.
Let's go.
And it's all about, like, getting people to talk about whatever that is. Okay? Probably politics for most of you fucking weirdos. Okay? And it is for me as well. Now, having said that, the goal isn't to get someone to describe information to you or, you know, reveal certain parts of their lives. The goal should be, if you can't fucking find anything to talk about that's interesting, get them to talk. Because people, especially if they're engaged because they're talking about something that they're interested in talking about, and you've unlocked that, love talking, okay? It'll automatically make them feel like, you know, you're a good listener, which you should be. You should be a good listener regardless. Anyway. Do you do an in-person in LA? Get all the streamers like Miz, Ludwig, and Austin? Man, be expecting second dates when they left you talking for 2 hours straight, them only saying wow and yep. Okay, but that's not... No, you're not being a good listener then. If you're only saying wow and yep, then you're not actually listening. You should be listening to keep them... Like, you should be engaged. You should be an active listener. And never debate your date, okay? You fucking silly gooses. All of chat is self-reporting right now that they've never been on dates. Yeah.
Mostly true, but that's like saying, don't be nervous and just be cool, you idiot. If you actually want the solution to being so nervous, in my experience, it's A, it's fine not to say anything, and B, have a storyline. If you know the topics and stories you really want to share, then you can just completely improvise. If this first section is your trip to Coco Bongo in Cancun, it might be a 5-minute story, but the conversation will inevitably splinter into her trip to Mexico, clubbing, regrettable experiences, and getting kidnapped by the cartel. Then when those topics run out, you just say, anyway, and go back to the main storyline. If you then run out of storyline entirely and the date gets really awkward, just grab your emergency kit, roofie yourself, and wake up the next day embarrassment-free.
Delayed Autistic Guppy says, what's wrong with debating? You should never agree with everything they say. That's weird.
Also Shaggy, also Scoob.
Not going to say anything else after that. That's enough, I think.
Doing something that doesn't match your personality. If you're chatty and personable, go for drinks. If you're more subdued and aren't good at talking, do an activity like hiking or pool or board games and allow her to absorb your personality by destroying her at bullet chess. Play to your strengths and your lifestyle. If you're an attractive guy, use Tinder. If you're really charismatic, get yourself into more social circles. If you're neither, like honestly, cheers.
Hey Han, what do you think about Russell Brand?
Our date with each other today has been...
Chapter dates are interesting. Watch 3.
You should never agree, ever, with everything that your date says, ever.
Beautiful eyes. I can do that without a VPN, but this way she thinks I'm from the south of Spain. A less romantic but more effective way to use it without a VPN, but this
is this the rest of this just straight up fucking VPN ad? What the hell did you just say? If you beat her in a debate, you show her you're not a beta? What happened? I think some in the chats think you said the N-word. Oh, yeah, dude. All the time. It's my favorite thing to say.
Just tell her you wasted 9 months of your life watching some guy to talk about politics.
You fucking idiots. It's my favorite word, dude. Of course. I put 1K that you've definitely debated a girl on the first date. I have 100%. I have. I'll be honest with you. I absolutely have. But I do it like very lightly. And also, it depends. If it's like someone who is interested in doing that, then that's one thing.
Stop agreeing with everything and continue the conversation by subscribing for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime.
It did sound like it. Obviously, you weren't saying it though. Yeah, I mean, no shit, guys. We should do a another chat vice. Is it true that a lot of inexperienced guys will overdo agreeableness? It's like nice guy syndrome. It comes off very fake and unengaging.
Would you ever go on a date with a conservative girl?
I mean,
well, you told the debate lords to debate some bitches. It's their fault, Pogo.
chat advice only ends up with you giving advice to Chads. It kind of does. I feel like I have a lot of fucking Chads in my audience, dude. Somebody already put it on LSF. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be like, dude, Hasan was saying the N-word. So I don't really care. No, that's a good question. There's a balance to everything. Like there is a balance to everything, right? So obviously you don't want to be like, you don't want to be just like over the top. Mods think chat thought you did so. No, mods will nuke shit like that specifically not to derail the stream.
Eighth month of my life.
I usually talk about music and concert experiences and always go to my favorite bar because people know me there and it's comfortable. Another dating advice vid I'd like to hear your take on. Fuck it, I'm a snitch. Tech Coyote clipped and uploaded it. Wow, dude. That's crazy.